Welcome to the Property Investors Podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an upload. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify and YouTube. Enjoy this week's show and don't forget to share it with all your friends.
Rightmove has reported that the average price of property from the market has plunged by 0.3%. It's not exactly plunging.
No, it's not. But I suppose that in the grand scheme of things, it's a drop, isn't it? Like,
it's the first time in a while.
Is that a sign of things to come?
Well, Rightmove are predicting an autumn bounce as prices fall in the upper end sector. With stamp duty savings largely behind us, Rightmove has seen prices drop. In the upper end 4-bedroom plus sector, prices have dropped 0.8%, by about £5,000 in the month, with buyers no longer making larger stamp duty savings. So I suppose at the moment the lower end houses aren't affected, are they?
No, because the stamp duty, there's still the break in the stamp duty up to a certain amount. But we all predicted this with regards to the stamp duty holiday changing, or certainly some of it coming to an end at the end of July. So we did expect to see less houses sold this month than say last month. People trying to get houses completed on time. So I was speaking to one of my solicitors mid-July, and I was trying to get them to do something for me, and they're like, "Oh, so we can't touch that because we've got 28 properties to get through by the end of July."
So what I'm getting asked a lot at the minute, in questions I get, and people that are reaching out to me and asking questions, is what strategies should they be looking at doing in the next 6 months to 12 months coming out of lockdown. Hopefully we don't go back into another lockdown, which I can't see happening, but I hope sincerely we don't. So what should you be doing coming out of lockdown? Now, as with everything, I believe cash flow is king, not cash. Cash is not king, cash flow. The flow of cash through you is king, okay? That's the crucial part here. So what I'd be looking to do is I'd be looking to generate as much cash flow as possible. And I'd be doing that using things such as, like, even now, rent to rent is a great strategy, because you'll see with a lot of landlords what's been happening over, like, certainly I've experienced a little bit, not that bad, but a little bit. But I know lots of the landlords that have experienced a lot of problems in the last 6 months to 12 months, and that's been with tenants, where tenants have stopped paying the rent, or they're late, they're in arrears, and the landlords have now got these problems with properties where they've got tenants in there that aren't really paying everything that they should be paying, and they've got all the law to protect them and all the COVID rules to protect the tenant but not the landlord. And I've got a lot of landlords that are looking to just get rid of all the tenants, completely wash the hands of the property investment market, and either do one-time let to like a big company in the sense of the local housing authority, children care centres, things like that. So they're looking to rent the properties out on a guaranteed rental scheme, where they give the property to a company or an agency, and then they wash the hands of it. They still own it, but they don't have to work it, they don't have to control it, okay? Now, I've got a guy called Andy, and he does this with learning disabled people all around Birmingham, and people that have that have got learning difficulties and can't be in conventional they need that assistance and that care from the local authority. So he rents the houses to the local authority. They put people that have got learning disabilities that need that full-time care in there. They live there, and then he gets a guaranteed rent every month from the local authority. Great, he's got a guaranteed rent, but he doesn't have to deal with the tenants. Okay, that sounds like a bit of a sort of a dream come true for a landlord. Now, I know there's lots of landlords in this situation. So for me, if you're looking to do rent to rent and you're in a position where you can give them a fixed income, do it and get out there, because there's so many of these deals to be had out there.
Is we rent where we live, and the money that we would have put into those houses, we buy investment properties instead, which pays us rent. Which more than pays for the rent that we pay.
Yeah, this is the thing. So rent where you live, own what you rent, and people get lost by this sometimes. And in fairness, I used to, and I'm like, no, I need to own where I live. But you're very right. If you were to buy this place, what deposit would you have to put in?
Well,
what's it worth?
This place is worth about 3.3.
Right, so about 3.3 million. So you'd have to put in probably at least a 10%. If you're buying it on a residential basis, at least 10% deposit.
Yeah, but the thing you've got to remember is, you can only get a mortgage 4 times your salary.
Yeah.
So if you're going to get 10%, I think realistically, most people who's on £1 million a year.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
So realistically, you're going to need a lot more.
Yeah. So
let's say you're on 250 grand, for example, which is a really good salary.
You'd still only get a mortgage of $1 million. Yeah, no, I get that. So my point being, it would take a lot of money to buy this house, deposit-wise and proven income and things like that. So if you were to buy this house, and let's say you did have to put a 10% deposit, and that's 330,000. How much? Like, do you mind disclosing what sort of money this would cost to rent?
Yeah. So to rent, it'd be about between 7 and 8 grand.
Okay, so you can rent something like this for £7,000 to £8,000 a month. So the £300,000 you would put into buying this house, what you could do is you can buy £300,000. How many investment properties could you buy?
You could buy 10 HMOs.
You could buy 10 HMOs. 30, 40 grand into a HMO. You could buy 8 to 10 HMOs. Right? If you get a good HMO making you £1,000 a month, there you are. You've got 10 properties that are all going up in value. They're bringing you cash flow every single month. And that covers the rental on you living in a really nice area.
But if let's say you did put 300 grand down into this, which would be ridiculous, you'd have to put a lot more in.
Yeah.
But even if you did, you'd be paying more than 7, 8 grand a month in interest.
On
your mortgage.
I know. I get it now. I really do get it. And if you put that £300,000 into way more creative deals and bigger deals, you make a hell of a lot more money than would pay the £6 grand a month to rent, or £7 grand a month to rent a really nice house in a really nice area. And for me, that's what makes sense.
Now, if you can get rent-to-rent holiday lets on a service accommodation basis, that is the cream. That's the creme de la creme. That's the cream. That's where the money's going to be made. So much money getting made in rent-to-rent essays at the minute. I was just speaking to Amelia, who owns a company called Devolve, one of our academy members, and she's been doing really good things in service accommodation. And just last month, she launched 3 apartments in Manchester city centre, which actually, funny, it leads us on to the news article, which is about Manchester. Anyway, the service accommodations that she just launched in Manchester last month, in their first month, get this, in their first month, 3 properties, all of them made profit, and the lowest profit was the smallest one, made £900. So £900 profits in one, I think 1,300 in another, and 1,500 in the other. 3 properties, combined profit over the month of 3 properties, about 4.5 grand a month.
Joint ventures, it's like leverage.
Yeah,
so even if you've got money, I still think it's good, because you're going to run out. Money is not. It is unlimited in one sense, but your money is not unlimited. So if I was going to put my own money into deals, I would run out. And yes, you can refinance it, but it's going to hold you back. Whereas if you're prepared to do joint ventures and stuff, you can leverage off other people.
Yeah.
It's win-win. They're winning.
Yeah,
Tony's winning.
Yeah.
Tony's getting all his money back, and he's making a nice big fat commission on it.
Yeah.
I'm winning because I'm making money on it. Everyone wins, right? So I'm a big believer in joint ventures if it's done in the right way.
Oh, so let me ask you this then. Somebody who's brand new to property, they've got £5,000-10,000 available to their name. How do they best position themselves to attract a joint venture?
Well, I think the first thing they need to do is they need to know what they're talking about. So they need to get out there. You know, I mean, we offer lots of free training. We've got the crash course, we've got Property Millionaire Intensive. There's lots of free stuff that you can get started with. There's also lots of books out there that you can read. So first thing I'd say, get out there. Make sure that you've got to be an asset, right?
Yeah,
if you're not an asset, if you're just with someone with no skills in property and no money, it's like, who the hell would want to joint venture with you?
We say all the time, if you're not prepared to invest in yourself, why would somebody invest in you? We say that all the time. So I think it's really important. Education, get trained. That's what you then bring to the table. You bring the knowledge, the asset. Your asset is the knowledge, and also the network and the teams that you build. So that's what you bring to the table. And then the joint venture partner brings the money, because they might not have the asset, they might not have the knowledge, they might not have the time, but you do. So they bring the financial, you bring the sweat. Happy days, you do a joint venture.
Sure.
Get it drafted legally, get it done properly, so it's structured properly so that everyone gets paid.
I mean, even deal sourcing in a way is a type of a joint venture.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah,
you're still joint venturing on it. It's just you're not getting a profit share at the end.
Yeah.
You're getting a fee up front. But it's equivalent sort of skill, really.
Well, look, You done JV, I went with deal sourcing. There's people in this room that have gone deal sourcing, there's people in this room that have gone joint venture. I started off deal sourcing by building my list of investors. I focused massively on building a list of investors. Like, serve before you sell. So serve them investors before you try and sell to them. And then I got out and I started finding deals, and I was looking at deal after deal after deal. I was out on the road every day looking at houses. And then one house was good, and then you sell it to an investor. But then it doesn't always sell. But then you don't give up. You just keep pushing and keep pushing. And then eventually you get to a point where the business is just selling deals. Now, in the current climate, it is a little bit difficult because we were just talking about this. The house prices are going sky high. Material costs are going sky high. Building costs are going. Everything's going sky high at the minute. So it does make it a little bit harder. Now that's good because it means it gets rid of all the amateurs. So all the bad deal sourcers, no, the amateur deal sourcers are going to go out of business. They're going to be out of business because they're not trained, they're not doing it professionally, and they're not doing it well. You've got to start somewhere. Like, I bought one for £28,000. Did you see that woman on Simon's YouTube channel last week? There was a woman on Simon's YouTube channel, right? On his Winners on Wednesday. She bought a house in Hartlepool for £24,000.
Oh, I did.
And she refinanced it for like 60 or something like that after putting like 10, 15 grand into it. Like, that is absolutely banging. Like, what a deal. Like, good on her. What a deal.
I know.
And then she's now gone on to buy a few more HMOs and things like that in Hartlepool. So it's just really good. Like, I think, I agree with you. Buy refurb, start small, work your way up, and just get there and build your money up over time. Like, don't rush this. Just do it bit by bit.